Wrapping up the weekend here on Chair Shot Reality, coming to you from the Squirrel Hill Sports Bar in Pittsburgh. A great establishment, great bartending staff, great specials. They got pool leagues, they got dart leagues, they got poker, they got live bands.
They got Josh Eisenberg here every Thursday night.
Added bonus, right?
At Josh Eisenberg 4.
Make sure you check out, of course, CSR. We're on WrestleZone. We're also on the WrestleZone and CSR Wrestling YouTube channel. We're everywhere. Distribution is key. Vince McMahon had his first quarter earnings meeting with the investors, and in the meeting, Josh, he made reference to a lot of talent. John Cena, Seth Rollins, Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton, all been out for a while on injury, and he says they are coming back within the next month. Now, we've been talking about NXT stars that have been coming up and all the things going on. Well, who's needed the most right now?
John Cena. I hate to say it.
It's natural.
It's naturally.
Naturally.
You want to see guys like Seth Rollins and Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt come back because of the creativity that they can bring in storylines. But I think the biggest problem with WWE right now is they have a lot of creativity because of all of their young guys, right?
Yeah.
They have the Club, they have AJ Styles, they have Baron Corbin and all these young NXT guys come up. But then at the same time, you're wondering, well, where's the stability of the veterans that the casual fan wants to bring in? And that's Randy Orton, and that's John Cena. Now, my personal preference, and I think the guy who makes the biggest impact, maybe for the internet fans, maybe for the casual fans, whatever, is Seth Rollins. When you see how Seth Rollins was on top of the world before his injury, and how far he, was lost in the minds of people, but you had to push somebody. You had to push other guys up. You had to push the Roman Reigns. You had to have debuts. You had to have WrestleMania focused around two guys who combined age of 95 years old. When you have Seth Rollins come back, when Rollins comes back, he's going to be A, 100% healthy, B, 100% hungry, and C, an immediate impact at the main event level. So Seth Rollins and John Cena are two guys that the WWE cannot go without heading into SummerSlam.
Well, I agree. Cena and Rollins are the two more important. I look at it, Randy Orton. I think a lot of us can interpret Randy Orton had a great career. He accomplished so much
young.
By the time of age 30. I think part of him is checked out a little bit. I think he's moving into the maybe not quite as part-time as Brock Lesnar, but I think he's really moving into a somewhere between Jericho Lesnar part-time schedule. I don't think we're going to see him ever working the schedule that he did again. He doesn't really need to, and they don't need him. I don't think. I think actually Randy Orton's best use, not on TV. I think Randy Orton's best use, advertise him for those Saturday and Sunday live event shows because he gets all to that audience. He's a big draw. I don't think you need him on TV as much. I'm not saying get rid of him at all, but I don't think his need coming back is as important on TV as Cena and Rollins.
I think Orton has one more really good run in him, and I think a lot of the bashing on Randy Orton has always been, well, heel face. Which one is Randy Orton? Because every month it seems like he's something else, and WWE can't decide on what character. But you had a guy in Evolution who was the young, up-and-coming, brash, arrogant guy, and then you had him in Legacy who was the leader of a group, and then you had him after that in World Championship matches against guys like Christian, against guys like Jack Swagger, against guys like Big Show. You put him in a situation for so long against mid-tier to upper mid-tier guys, and you didn't book him like John Cena, where he would face the up-and-coming young star or the established Brock Lesnar or Triple H. He's had his Triple H matches, but later in the past couple of years, if you develop Randy Orton, and I've been saying this,
you want that Brock Lesnar
I've been harping a Brock Lesnar-Randy Orton feud for so long because I think the aggression, the intensity that we've seen from Randy Orton in past will only be blown up immensely if he faced Brock Lesnar.
Well, you have Orton where he is. Bray Wyatt, I don't think is just that big of an effect until you get all the Wyatt family healthy, until Harper's back. So it comes back to Rollins and Cena. Obviously, you don't need Cena in the main event picture. I think a great spot for Cena. Put him back and doing what worked so well last year with the U.S. title.
Yeah, I agree.
Hopefully they really commit to Rusev. Last Monday was a little odd, but hopefully they commit to Rusev. I would not mind Rusev versus Cena once more, but Rusev this time go over. So that goes to Seth Rollins, and you're right. Seth Rollins is the guy that's going to come back. He's going to be an over-like Rover babyface, and he's going to be a babyface that WWE needs because you have Roman Reigns, obviously, who is polarizing, but not everybody's bought into. You have Dean Ambrose, who's just as Ross would say,
he's the definition of mediocre.
Goofier than the pet coon thing. He's a lunatic, so he's got to name a potted plant. I hate the fact that I'm souring on my boy, but I am.
You are souring because you're being smart.
So there's a need for a baby face. That it's a fresh baby face, him coming back from being a heel. It's a babyface who can talk on the mic. He can go in the ring. A lot of fresh matchups with him on the babyface side of the fence. Seth Rollins is going to be, how they bring him back is going to be key.
Well, let me ask you this. How, and that was my next question, is how do you bring him back? Video package a la Triple H in 2002? Or does he come out of nowhere and either cost a match or get involved immediately in a feud? How do you book him?
You know me, I normally like to go on the theory if you can't make money off what you don't know is coming, but I think in this case, I think you don't need a video package for Rollins coming back. I think once he is back, you can do some stuff. But I think let it be a surprise, but not a surprise in the manner of he comes running in on a match at pay-per-view. I think it could be a case of after maybe the night after a pay-per-view, Roman Reigns is in the ring or Stephanie and Shane are in the ring. They're talking, whatever's being said. All of a sudden, boom, that music hits. Crowd goes crazy. It's going to elevate the pop even more, and he claims what his business is, which obviously his business is going to be to get his world title back.
You got to bring it into a city as well that you know is going to be a hotbed city. You know, it can't be Little Rock, Arkansas, where he'll get a little bit of a pop, but it won't feel as important. It's funny because when you see returns of superstars, it's really all about the location of where they return. Maybe not necessarily how they return, but the location. Triple H 15 years ago or 12 years ago, Madison Square Garden. John Cena, Madison Square Garden. Edge, Atlanta, Georgia at the Royal Rumble. I mean, there's so many instances where people return. They have to go in a hot city, one that WWE knows that they'll get the most bang out of their buck.
Well, I'll say this. Extreme Rules coming up is in Jersey.
Jersey, yeah.
So they're going to be in that New York, Jersey, right there in between New York, Philly. Obviously a very hotbed area, hotbed crowd. So that could be.
How great would a Seth Rollins and AJ Styles match be?
Well, there's so many potential. You throw Seth Rollins in the fold. Whatever dynamic's going to happen with AJ Styles and Roman Reigns, and we'll talk about that next week when we make our predictions, whatever dynamic's happening there, and then you throw Rollins into the fold, and you have, like I said, the fresh matchup of Rollins Styles, the revisited problems of Rollins and Reigns.
Triple H is still there.
It's endless, really, what's there. I mean, that's why I said it's so fresh. It's a guy that you can trust, but it's fresh because he's on the new side of the fence, and he's got a great piece of business, which is I never lost. That's my title.
Will he be champion by the end of 2016?
Oh, absolutely.
World champion.
Yes.
See, this is why I like you, because every once in a while you wise up and you take over my opinions, and it doesn't look better than my opinions, but people like you, so I guess.
The admiration from Josh Eisenberg.
Love Justin
What
LeBar.
more
Big
do
LeBar
I
fan.
need?
Hey, I got rid of one of my enemies on this show, so you're still here.
Ghoulish was an enemy?
Ghoulish was always an enemy. No, he was smoother than silk.
Shooting. Nah, I didn't know there was a problem here. Share, shout, rally. Make sure you check us out.
Brian.
YouTube.com/CSR Wrestling. YouTube.com/WrestleZone. You can also go to WrestleZone.com. Everywhere. The best thing to do is just follow @CS Reality on Twitter or like us on Facebook, and that'll have the links right there for you. Again, big thanks to Squirrel Hill Sports Bar, taking care of us, treating us right. We're going to go have a libation or two.